Hello, hi there everybody, do hope you're well. And if you're watching on YouTube, my name is Bella, and if you're watching me for the first time, most people know me as Bella the Secret Psychic. And every week on my Facebook page and on YouTube I give a live talk on different spiritual subjects that sometimes my Facebook community have voted on, or I've noticed it's been something that perhaps my community have been talking about, and so I'm here to sort of hopefully enlighten everybody. And perhaps for those of you who are watching on YouTube as well, you may have also noticed, or maybe you don't know, I also do monthly horoscopes as well, so do check out my channel. So thanks for joining me here today. If you are there in either Facebook land or if you're there on YouTube, do say hey, hi and hello, do say where you're from. Today's subject is what is Reiki, which will complement actually my other video, which is on chakras. So after this, perhaps you'd like to go to my playlist, whether on Facebook or on YouTube, and also have a look at my subject that I talked about, which was what are chakras. This is a complimentary video to this as well. So I can see that we have a few people here on Facebook already joining, and as I wait a little bit for people to sort of catch up in, I'm going to explain what we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to explain what is Reiki in a sort of broadest kind of sense, and at the end of it I'm also going to we'll talk about sort of who performs Reiki, how you can perform Reiki on yourself, and actually some tips and hints in order for you to initially, if you're doing any sort of meditation or self-care or mindfulness, how you can right now, from today, incorporate a little bit of Reiki in any sort of daily mindfulness or daily meditation practice that you have as well. So that's kind of where this is going today. So I see we've got Dawn here and Joyce here on Facebook, and Shell's there, but she's at work. You're at work? Of course, you're in New Zealand, aren't you? Watch later, and it's okay. And hi to everybody as well if you're watching on repeat as well. So let's have a look who's quickly there. If we've got people, we've got Kirsty McDonald here in YouTube as well. I think we'll crack on while we wait for some people to catch up and catch in with us as well. So right, we're going to go to our first slide. So what is Reiki? What is lovely Reiki? Lots of people have heard it. Some people pronounce it as Reiki as well, but it's, I mean, I've got here that Reiki is a Japanese technique that that is about reducing stress and promotes healing. But basically, Reiki has really been with us for a very long time. If you talk to masters when it comes to Reiki and the principles, and even when I talk to you about who developed this version of Reiki that I'm talking about today, it actually stemmed from something way back that actually just got a bit forgotten. So I'm going to talk about it in a minute with Dr. Yusumi, in terms of how he sort of reintroduced it really into this, our modern lives as part of spirituality. But basically, this practice of Reiki is about energy transfer. So when you think of all different holistic type of things like acupuncture, like reflexology, all those type of holistic sort of help to get healing, it's all about energy points in our body, and it's all about the transfer and the flow of energy and the balance of energy. So Reiki is just another form of bringing balance and an alliance, but also using what I'll explain to you in a moment is the energy centers in our human aspect, our corporeal selves, to make sure that we can navigate through this human existence in the most balanced and the most healthiest and the most happiest way that we can, basically. So it works on those principles, and basically we all of us in different ways. Hi Amy. Everyone's busy today. It's a busy Sunday. I know in London, in England, it has been a beautiful day that I think everybody in the south of England anyway have been out until as long as they could, just enjoying probably the one day of summer that we'll probably have, even though it's spring. But anyway, I've lost my train of thought. What I was saying here is that actually we all of us through from birth, instinctually do something that Reiki does in terms of hands-on healing, because the principle behind Reiki, or one of them, because there are different methods that are actually taught when it comes to Reiki. So there are some Reikis that have many levels of ascension, and there are some that just have 3. This one has 3, and I'm going to be talking about, some of them have 7. But basically, we all are inherently born with the connection to universal energy, or source, or God, or whatever it is that you particularly want to label it as. We're all connected in that kind of way. So think about it. Either if you're a mother or father, or if not, the opposite, you were once a child, and or you know, you might have hurt yourself in any kind of way, fell over or anything like that. When that has happened to you personally, or you've seen it happen to your child, the first thing either the child will do, or you will do, if you've fallen over and scraped your arm, the first thing you'll do is you'll grab it, because it's painful. Now, the action of just grabbing that injury is very instinctual, but why? Because actually through our hands flow healing energy, and actually, if you think about it now, whenever you bumped your head, you put your hand there, or you put your hand there, you put your knees there, what are you effectively doing? You're doing exactly what Reiki does. You are trying to take away some of that pain. And again, if you're a mother or father and your child fell over, you say there, you put your hand there, just as they've put their hand there as well. And some of you will give it a kiss, expressing love, and then it feels better. And even for those injuries where actually it doesn't feel better until you get some actual sort of A&E care, the instinct is to want to hold the very place that is hurting. Why? Because the healing energy that flows through us, which Reiki teaches people how to use, which is already always within us anyway, basically. So I hope you get me initially. So the word Reiki is a Japanese word, and the sort of the methods of Reiki in terms of how it's taught and how it opens up the flow of life force, in able to relieve stress and to heal energy and to bring us balance, was formulated, or made more modern, I should say, through the work of Dr. Yasumi, who we're going to talk about in a moment. But also the word Reiki, the first part of it, Rei, for some people means God's wisdom or universal wisdom, or other people say higher power. And the word Ki, or Chi as well, as it's also pronounced, means life force, basically. So the overall ultimate definition is either spiritual or universal guided life force energy, the flow. And that is what Reiki is. It's teaching people how to access what we're already connected to anyway, which is source energy, universal energy, or God, again, whatever it is that you affiliate yourself to, is where that is from. So just hold on so I don't leave anybody out. We've got people there. We've got Drew Edmondson, who's also joined us on YouTube as well. So if you've got questions, guys, as we go along, please do say. Happy to help you as well. And I do know that we have some people that will either be watching now or also on repeat that also practice Reiki, or who are already Reiki masters, which I'm going to explain to you what they are if you have no idea what I'm talking about as well. So, I pressed the wrong button, hold on. So, who created the version of Reiki that I'm talking about? Because again, there are several different types of Reiki that I talk to different people that have different methods or different levels or different achievements. But the one I'm going to be talking about is the one that is the most popular, which is a method that was formulated and brought together, or I should say, or was given to, was enlightened to Dr. Yasumi, who was a Japanese doctor. And he formulated it on certain historical sort of principles of the Meiji Empire, and the ideals were both guidelines for living a gracious kind of life with virtues worthy of practice for their inherent kind of value. And I think what's important to I think I'll just sort of touch on his kind of journey. Basically, the story goes like this. Hi, Steve. Steve says, can practice, yeah, I'm gonna touch on that. Steve basically says, can practitioners remotely diagnose and heal? Yes, I can, but I'll tell you at what level they can do that. Hi as well, Steve. I'm going to get to that, but it's a good question. So basically, Dr. Yusumi, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, because that's my pronunciation with my lovely British accent. Basically, the myth goes like this, that he was given a lecture as a doctor. One of his students kind of said to him, you know, well, what do you think about Jesus and being able to heal, you know, people, and you know, and could you do that? And he said, he had to admit, he said, no, I can't do that. But it actually bothered him because he wanted to understand and look into how that could be possible, because again, because of ancient sort of passed down knowledge. You got to think about this, particularly when it came to a lot of people's history, a lot of cultures' history, but also in Japan, a lot of history was told mouth from mouth to mouth to mouth, a bit like Chinese whispers, and you can understand after a while things get watered down or they get twisted. So the principles about what he was talking about or what was affiliated to could Jesus, who for me is an ascending master, just like Buddha is an ascending master, could do in terms of that healing, was something that's got lost over, you know, hundreds and centuries and, you know, of loads of time. So he just wanted to unlock that again. So what he did is he joined a monastery, and in his time during the monastery, obviously he did some teachings there, but he also spent a lot of time going through their Sanskrit old sort of Sanskrit text. And as he went through that kind of text, that he started to see and sort of old historical things that got lost were given to him. So then what he decided to do, because he still hadn't got it, he sort of understood the principles of it, but he couldn't feel the chi or the life force or any kind of, you know, that kind of inner wisdom, that inner healing within him. So then what he did is he kind of took himself off on a pilgrimage, sort of on his own, up in a mountain, far away from anybody. And for 21 days he stayed there, and for 21 days he fasted, and for 21 days he meditated, and he put 21 pebbles all in front of him, and every day that went by he threw a pebble away so that he could keep the days of the week. And on his last day, as the myth says, with the lovely Dr. Yusumi, and this is around the 1900s, I can't remember the exact date, so not that long ago. Basically, on the 21 day, and his last day, he was given the gift of enlightenment. He was given the breath of life, and her light came from the sky and hit him in the forehead, in his third eye, and he was awakened, he was attuned, and he knew, and he was the first, let's say, modern master of Reiki. And then from there, I think it was over 16 or 19 students that he then trained in the same kind of methods, so that they then would in their own right be practitioners of Reiki and be able to heal others in person or remotely, Steve, which I'm going to also cover as well. So that's a little history about Dr. Yusumi. There is more history, but I'm not going to bore you with it all. It's something that if you're much more interested in Reiki, that you can take that further with what I'm going to show you as well. So just bear with me. So what are the benefits? You know, why a lot of people love Reiki, and they should love Reiki. Why? Because these are the benefits. It radiates a flow through and around you of love. It brings you inner peace and relaxations and a feeling of security and well-being. And for those of you who've had Reiki already will know what I mean. And for those of you who are practicing either self-healing or actually practicing to become a master yourself in Reiki, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The benefits are about personal self-improvement, keeping your balance, keeping that energy balance between your ego and your higher self, and that they work hand in hand and not as enemies. And again, that your chakra system, which I will touch on a little bit, but is more touched on in my video about it, is that they're also unblocked and free, and that you're free to move in your human aspect as you intended to, in a way that is not so challenging as perhaps you may feel that it has been, if that makes sense. It can help, basically, the healing aspect of Reiki can help virtually with every known illness. It's very complementary, and for those Reiki masters who have been doing this and are highly attuned, have been doing this for a long time, they can actually, and I'm going to say it, they can actually perform miracles. They can actually cure what is seen to be uncurable. And I think it's the same principles that I talk about when it comes to the law of attraction, and that we are creators. It's about your perspective. If you believe that something is happening to you, then it is going to happen to you, good or bad. And it's about using that energy, and also what happens to you cognitively in terms of setting your intentions, which is where Reiki can help to kind of shift that block if that's going on for you, to help that shift away. It can improve basically one's health and enhance basically your overall quality of life, and probably a whole host of other benefits that, you know, I could gush and go on about and on about and on about when it comes to the benefits that go hand in hand really with Reiki as well. So just hold on while I just check if there's any questions from anybody, or you're all listening very attentively. Thank you. So we're going to go to the next slide. The next slide is Reiki a religion? No, it's not a religion. It's more like a way of life. It is, it's not dependent basically on any kind of religious belief at all. It promotes the way that you live and it promotes the way that you act, which promotes basically harmony. Even though that Reiki is spiritual by nature, it is not religious. And I think this is why it's also been very popular across the world, because no matter what your faith, your belief, your religion is, your ideals are, your morals are, your values are, it doesn't dictate in that kind of way. It just promotes a way to live in a harmonious way, in a balanced way, and a healthy way. And we all, in our human aspect, want to be healthy now, don't we? So I put here because I think the word disease, which some people often, when they have an illness or a disease, will choose Reiki as an alternative or a complementary service to the existing treatment that they have happening. But what is a disease? It's dis-ease, isn't it, versus ease in life. And what I love about Reiki is that any stresses or imbalances in your mind or actually in your body can happen in a number of ways, and these often show up with physical symptoms. And I work with a lot of people in the type of work that I do, where actually their thought forms and the challenges or their lowness or the blocks that may be in their energy for one way or another can actually be the very thing that actually can trigger either illness or dis-ease in the mind, or actual physical illness in the body. So for example, before I did this work full time, I had a different type of job and I did this part time. But my other type of job, sometimes I would just do too much. And I'd work really, really hard, and then as soon as I had my annual leave, I would always get a cold. Always. So I'd have like 4 or 5 weeks off a year, and every single time I had a break, I was always ill. Why? Because my body was like, oh, she's finally going to relax. She's finally not going to work. So, but because she's been doing so much, it has affected my chakras, it's affected my mind, it's affected everything, that actually it has to come out in a release. And the release for me was to get a cold, basically to get the flu. And you'll see in this diagram that I've kind of put here how Reiki works with the 7 chakra systems, even though again some Reikis will work with more chakra systems than just the traditional 7 that I talk about. But Reiki will work on the whole body, but it will also look at, and a Reiki practitioner or Reiki master will be able to feel what areas in your body or what chakras in your body are not aligned or calcified or in need of work or disrupted or blocked, where there is actual pain in your body. Will be able to feel that and with the energy flow that has been attuned to them and the training that they've been given to either actually see that visually in their mind's eye or to feel it through their hands, will be able to heal what is going on, to rebalance and help the body do what it does very naturally. We are very perfectly built as human beings to heal ourselves in every sense of the word. But with those blocks, whether they are again physical or mental, the Reiki practitioner can help unblock that so that your body can successfully do what it needs to do in order to get you well again. Hi Amanda, do hope you're well. So I hope you guys get me. And again, I have a longer video on chakras to help people understand about the chakra system, because that's another longer subject as well. So we've talked about Reiki practitioners, so we're going to talk about now who performs Reiki. So basically a Reiki practitioner mostly, but I have to say everybody, even you here today, never done any Reiki, never gone to a Reiki practitioner, you can also practice Reiki on yourself in a short term, because like I said right at the beginning of this feed, we all have the power to wield source energy. Why? Because we are part of that. It is within us, it is who we are, and it's something we do instinctively. Like I said, when we hurt ourselves, when we see somebody else hurt, we want to put our hands on people. It's something that's within us always. But so there's some things I will teach you today to do that is an assistance in terms of being mindful and in your meditation practice to help wield that energy. But basically, to learn how to do it yourself, I would suggest that you do seek out a Reiki practitioner who will actually either do it for you, or a Reiki master who will actually teach you how to do this for yourself in a bigger and grander way than what I can. So some people go to Reiki and they let the practitioner do it, and some people go to Reiki so that actually they can do this for themselves on a daily basis as well. You know, everybody does things their own way, and Reiki is very fluid in that kind of way, to be able to say this person will do it for me because I can't see, because perhaps I'm too blocked in my head, or it's something that I want to be able to do and practice on myself as a daily routine as well. Most Reiki practitioners or Reiki masters or Reiki master teachers can normally be found locally, but we live now in the wonderful world of internets and online stuff, that also there are Reiki masters and practitioners that you can access also online as well. It's a beauty. It's not, there is no barrier necessarily to how you can work with somebody, but it does depend on what level and experience that Reiki practitioner has, which I'm going to explain in a minute. You can often find them, you know, if you Google if you want to see a local one near to you, you can Google them, you know, or you can visit your local holistic shop, or sometimes they are in medical centres as well. So I know here in London there's a Reiki healer in Harley Street. I know locally near to me in the next sort of borough, there is also many health centres actually where they sort of all combine things together. So and my own doctors also offer that as a holistic side, so it's quite a popular thing. You can have hands-on Reiki from anybody at any level, hands-on, but if you are doing distance healing, Steve, you need to have a second degree practitioner for them to be able to do this distant healing for you effectively, and you would be arranging for that to happen at a certain space and time so that you are willing to accept that healing as well. And also for some people accept some attunement if you're looking to actually take that healing on and learn to also heal yourself on a regular basis as well. So you can learn how to practice Reiki on yourself, but if to do that, like I said, a Reiki master would be the best one to teach you how to do it. But it's like I said, there are things in the way that I'm showing things by my spirit guides and how I've worked with Reiki, that actually it is something that we all have. We all have that flow within us. What a Reiki master does, or what a Reiki practitioner does, is they can unlock it for us, and if not, you can use their force or the flow through them in order for them to heal and help you. And some people have been doing it for such a long time, they are truly masters at it. And like I said, there are some people who can truly walk on water or to truly heal, which, when you think about stories about sort of Jesus and Buddha and all those people that perform miracles in the past, this is partly how they use that. They use a life source, they use universal energy in order to be able to perform that. And even Dr. Usumi, when he came out of his meditation and he got to his first town, I think he cut, I can't remember if he cut his foot or his hand on a rock, and he healed it because he'd just been given that attunement. It also helped a local village girl also on his journey just after he'd become sort of attuned by source in a very sort of dramatic way. So all those stories you hear are just versions of Reiki, basically, and that energy force which we all have as well. So bear with me while I go to another screen. So if you're going to want to choose a Reiki practitioner of any kind, the key things to kind of look out for are, how long were they trained? You know, because how long ago, I should say, were they trained? Because you might see somebody says, oh yes, I've been trained for, I trained 10 years ago. Just because they were trained 10 years ago, are they practicing it now? Because they may have trained 10 years ago, but if they haven't actively used it for 5 years, then they probably need to refresh or retrain, because actually their attunement or their practice in this, because like with everything, whenever you're doing anything spiritual, whether it's unlocking your psychic abilities, whether it's learning reflexology, or you have to be putting in the practice. Like if you were driving a car and you didn't drive a car for 10 years, you might be very rusty and probably a little bit dangerous on the road. The same would be true. So how long ago were they trained? It doesn't matter if they were trained 6 months, but then for 6 months they've been actively doing it. They're probably maybe better than somebody who trained 10 years ago, but maybe occasionally does it or hasn't done it for 5 years. It's important about how long ago, but how frequent. What degree level are they? Are they a degree level 1? If they're degree level 1, then again, everyone with a degree level 1 can use Reiki hands-on. But somebody with a degree level 1 will not be able to successfully perform distance, which means not with you, basically, healing. So if you're looking to access somebody and you can't actually go to see them and you want to have distance healing, if they're a level 1, they will not be able to perform it effectively, and you will be wasting your money as well. So they need to be level 2. If you're looking also to become trained to the level of master, you would need a master to be able to do that, but also a master that has a teaching qualification, teaching element to also their learning too. So also look at obviously recommendations and reviews for that person in terms of their success rates, in terms of bringing peace, bringing harmony, bringing balance, and also their healing abilities or their assistance in terms of the health issues that you may be suffering from. Also have a conversation with them. How do they describe Reiki? What's their passion about it? How much knowledge do they have? It's a bit like if you were choosing a counsellor and they had on their door, oh yes, I'm counsellor in psychotherapy BDP. You might want to ask for a certificate, which is a really good thing to ask, but you might also just again want to check out that they actually are what they say on the tin, that what you've researched or you've learned about Reiki, that actually it all matches up. Do you understand as well? And also, very importantly, I would say, is do they practice self-care? Because if you are at any level of Reiki, in order to the reason why most people do it is to actually make sure that they are in a healthy and happy place, that they are unblocked in order to perform Reiki on other people. And in order to do that, they have to be practicing Reiki themselves pretty much every day. If not every day, every other day. It's got to be a regular thing. So again, the energy of flow goes through them to you when they're healing. But if they are blocked themselves because they don't practice Reiki on themselves every day or regularly, then they again will not be effective to you. So those kind of questions like, well, You know, what's your self-care? How do you do yours? You know, is it often, is it frequent, is it once a week? If they say, oh no, I don't need to do that, I'm fine, no. No, 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 no. Again, if they are blocked, because if them saying no means that their ego is taken over, which means they definitely 100% are, means that they do need to revisit, and they probably are not going to be as successful at healing you if they're not doing it successfully for themselves. Okay, so I hope you get me. So Kirsty says, my Reiki master said, hold on, I can't see the end of it, said I had a kink in my sacral chakra. A kink? Did he explain more? I guess he meant a kink in terms of, I think what my guys are saying here, and I tend to have to agree, Kirsty, is it's his way of saying blocked, basically. But I hope at least he sorted out your kink in your sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra, which is just below the navel, and is all about sort of, you know, intimacy and relationships and things like that. If it was connected, particularly in terms of the relationships you have with other people or any sort of sexual desires, then the kink would completely make sense. Some people also can have a very calcified sacral chakra as well, depending on any sort of genital issues that there also may be in that area as well, because every chakra point also is connected to actual points and glands in our body as well too. So just moving on. So how can, I'm going to move to the next one, because how can Reiki help you? Again, it brings about deep relaxation. It relieves physical pain. It accelerates natural healing. It energizes you when you are drained. It reduces stress. It prevents disease or dis-ease. It can detoxify your body. It removes energy blocks so that you feel flow. You know, when you've had those days like where you can skip and you feel light and nothing can, you know, even if you had a bad day or someone's annoyed, it doesn't matter, you feel good. That's removing of energy blocks, negativity blocks. Changes negative conditionings in the way that you think, in your thought forms and in your behavior, and improves mental clarity and strengthens your relationships. Well, those are wonderful things basically to be helping you with. So how can you learn? How can you learn? Sorry, some of the writing is a bit small for me, so every now and then I have to switch around just so I can read it. Just to remind myself what I'm talking about. So obviously you can learn to do this through a Reiki master and teacher. So there you've got a Reiki master who also is teaching as well, because some people become Reiki masters but they don't necessarily go on to necessarily teach as well. So you want a Reiki master that also is a teacher or teaching as well. So the other thing that you can learn is you can do this either in person, and quite a lot of people take the option to do to learn how to do Reiki in person or in groups locally with somebody. But also what's becoming quite popular now as well, because people can pick and choose and also do things at their own time and their own pace, and perhaps they don't have somebody local to them depending on where you live, that there are also some online courses that also will teach people how to learn. And I would just say with the online courses is to check out who your teacher is and what level they are at, and also just, you know, familiarize yourself with them and the recommendations that they have also as a person to be able to effectively teach you how to do this. And you can learn again to do level 1. Some people do level 1 and they never do any more than that, and that's fine, because all they want to do is be able to learn how to self-heal, let their energy flow, to rebalance, unblock. And then you can, but some people like to go on more, and if that's one of you, you'll go into level 2. And if you want to extend further, you'll go on to become a master or a master teacher as well. And with those levels, do you get obviously the wisdom and the knowledge and understand and learn what Reiki is, but you get specific attunement at every level to attune you It's almost like passed on wisdom. It's a bit like that whole Japanese thing when I said Chinese whispers, but not in that diluted way. What you're getting is basically your energy, because remember, you are already connected to source energy, you're already connected to higher universal power, but it's just so that you are vibrating higher with it, that you are that the flow of it is a lot more in tune with you. So that attunement comes from the Reiki master to you, in order so that you can effectively deliver that to yourself, but to other people as well. So I hope you get me. So what we're going to talk about now, because I did say and I did promise that we are going to, I don't want to leave you here with just about what Reiki is. I want you to be able to take something here that's going to be helpful for you today in your own mindfulness practice and also in your own meditative practices. So there are 5 Reiki principles, which are usually either, well, they're mostly spoken out loud, but some people also just say these silently in their heads. And as quite often they also come with some hand positions also, in order so that people can start to change their thought forms, change the energy flow, without necessarily going directly to a practitioner. In fact, it's a good way of doing this, just to sort of feel this for yourself, to see whether Reiki is a good practice for you, or good energy exchange, I should say, for you, if you want to become less balanced, or to be healed in a certain way. So this would be my suggestion based on the 5 Reiki principles. So you'll see here there are some phrases here. But what I would ask you to do, once a day, or again once every other day, just to choose one of these 5, just one of these 5, with these hand gestures. And there are many different hand gestures that you can use, depending on where you feel there is discomfort in you. But these are the ones that I would recommend just for initial practice and initial mindfulness and initial attunement and initial healing for your mind, so that you are at ease and not at dis-ease in your life. So, for example, if you were to choose, just for today, I will not worry. So before you meditate, or before you're present with yourself, you would say out loud, just for today, I will not worry. But when you say that, I want you to put your hands just over the front of your head. Now make sure that your hands, that they're cupped like this, a little bit cupped, that your thumbs are in. And then you just put them over the front of your face. And you would say, with your hands over your face, if I'm taking them out, you would say, just for today, I will not worry. And then I want you to move them to the side, again, cupped like this. Just for today, I will not worry. And then put your hands again like this, but at the back of your head, just below your skull, and to say, just for today, I will not worry. And then go into your meditation or your mindfulness, whether this be yoga or whatever it is you do. So that's one that you can do. Another one that you can say is, just for today, I will not be angry. And with this position, again, hands cupped in the same kind of way, put your elbows right together but around your throat. And you'll say, just for today, I will not be angry. And then move your hands again, keeping them in the same position, but this time fingers touching here. Again, say, just for today, I will not be angry. And move your hand from your chest to just where your solar plexus is, which is just below your breast or just above your navel. Move it down to just under your navel, to where your sacral chakra is. And then a V shape just by your root chakra, which is just by the top of your thighs, basically. And with the last 3, you've got an easy one. So again, you choose any one of these 3, and we'll go for, just for today, I will do my work honestly. It's going to come from your heart chakra. So you're going to make a T with your hands like this. And you're going to say, just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. And you could do that for any of those last 3. When you do that, just before you're doing mindfulness and just before you are going into meditation, particularly if you're doing your heart chakra, and you can feel that, your heart chakra open, that green light, you'll feel your hands get warm. Even now when I'm doing this, my hands are pretty hot, but that in your own special way, you are healing, you are balancing, you're attuning yourself. Do that every day and see how your mind and how your life changes. And then I can trust me, you'll either want to go and learn Reiki or you'll want to go and get some Reiki from a Reiki practitioner as well. But that's a little thing to set you on your way so that you can do something for yourself every day. In meditation, in your own mindful practices, in whatever way that you do that. And just at the end here, just for those of you who are interested, and you can kind of pause the screen, these are some of the positions that are often taught to people in terms of self-healing. And what I would suggest here, if is obviously if you want to specifically learn, is to go to a Reiki master. But again, even with just being mindful, being present, being meditative, just placing your hands in these positions. If you feel like you need to go to your stomach area, then that's where you're destined to be. If you actually have a pain in your knee, then that's where your hands should be. And just in your mindfulness, just let the energy flow. Just make sure your hands are cupped like this. And just be mindful, just be present with your body. Check your body out, okay? Because you don't realise it. Just like we all do when we trip and fall, we're always healing ourselves whenever we bump something as well. So, hi Terry, I do hope you're well. So that was me. I'm waiting to do my Reiki Masters. I must say, learning and practicing Reiki is the best thing ever. Everybody, Maggie, everybody who's learned how to do Reiki loves it. Why? Because it is born out of pure love. Whenever you meet anybody who's learned to do Reiki at any level, their elevation of love, you just want to be around their energy. That's how they are. And because it changes your perception, it changes your thought forms. And when you're around masters and masters who've been doing it for so long, you feel again that love. And it's this love, it is that energy force, because the universal force at the end of the day is love, which is why people love to do it. Because it makes sense when people start to do it. And it's also why it is universally across the world extremely, extremely popular as well. So, I do hope... did I skip around? I think I didn't show you this. This is the hand signal, sorry. I'll leave it here for a couple of minutes so you can see it. If not, just pause it and you'll see the little hand movements. But I do hope that this has been helpful for you today, you guys. And if you've liked this, do like, do subscribe, do share. It's been my pleasure to kind of give you this very general broad overview when it comes to Reiki. But I hope that what I have given you has been useful as well. And I hope, again, in your daily practices, in whatever way you want to take this forward, that you do it in a way that serves you and makes you happy. So I'm going to go. Have a great evening, everybody, and I will see you all next week with another live talk. Take care. Bye-bye.